Behind that door. In the storeroom. Hurry. See, if it was like this, then it would be the exact same. Like, I don't know why it was a cutscene, but sure. It'd be a cutscene. It's Gina. From that moment, Windibank's pawnbrokery became a crime scene. Everything that followed happened in a whirlwind of activity. The arrival of the police, the preliminary investigation of the scene, and the questioning. It was just before dawn, before I was allowed back into my lodgings at 221. That makes more sense. 221B. Oh, Iris. A telegram came, but all it said was, wait at home. Oh, yes, we asked one of the policemen to have it sent. It was simply impossible to come back. When I woke up, I was all alone. Hurley and Ginny were gone. Everyone was gone. What happened, Bruno? Poor Iris. She's trembling. She's obviously trying very hard not to let herself get too worried. I'll explain everything that I know. Something awful has happened, hasn't it? Yes, I'm afraid so. I'm sorry to have to tell you this, Iris, but Mr. Windibank is dead. He was shot. We discovered it in the early hours of the morning. Oh, yes, I had a feeling. You did? Well, I saw all those police carriages pulling up outside his shop, so I knew something must have happened there. When we entered Windibank's in the small hours, we disturbed a gang of 2 thugs. They ran out onto the street and I chased after them, but they got away. So, it was one of them who shot old Mr. Windibank, I suppose? I don't know, but that's not what the police believe at the moment. Oh, why not? They've arrested someone else as their prime suspect, you see. Gina. Ginny? Well, why? Well, the thing is... No, Ginny wouldn't do something like that. I know, none of us think she did it. Then why have they arrested her? I'm sorry, there was nothing I could do. So where's Hurley then? Is he still there investigating the scene? He really ought to have some breakfast. It's not good for him to miss meals. I don't want you to worry, Iris, but I have some news about Mr. Sholmes. He was taken to the hospital this morning. What? Well, when we entered Windibank's, a gun was fired and he took a bullet. Hurley? He was shot? No. It's alright. I forgot who was talking. It's alright. His life isn't in danger. Really? Are you sure? Where is he? Which hospital? He's at St. Sinners? St. Sinners. They're tending to him there. I must see him at once. I'm sorry, Iris, but you can't. Why not? That's not fair. I'm a family member. I should be allowed. No, I mean, nobody can see him at the moment. He's not allowed any visitors. They're preparing to operate, you see. To operate? Isn't she also like a doctor, though? Did she graduate from doctor college? Med school. Doctor college is what we should call it. Oh, poor Hurley. It was the 2 thugs who were in Mr. Windibank's shop. They shot Mr. Sholmes when we disturbed them, you see. It was pitch black inside the shop at the time. My mind went totally blank, I'm afraid. I just froze. After them, go. After that, I ran out into the street, but, well, they were long gone. I shouldn't have hesitated. I'm so sorry, it's my fault. I let them get away. I think that's a very good thing. Sorry? Well, if you'd seen which way they went and chased after them. You might have been shot as well, Bruno. On top of everything else, I couldn't bear that. Oh, Iris. Where's Susie, Bruno? She's still at the police station. Oh, why? I expect she's still being questioned. The police said they wouldn't be finished for a while. Why aren't you there then? Well, I didn't get a good look at the criminals anyway, so they weren't questioning me for long. And Miss Susato stayed behind at the scene to tend to Mr. Sholmes, so they didn't get started until later. Oh, I see. Besides, one of us had to come back to be with Iris. I'm glad Inspector Gregson agreed to me leaving early. You should have let me know. You should have let me know and I would have come to the station. I don't understand why they arrested Ginny. It's not fair. What about the two thugs that were at the scene? Why aren't they the prime suspects? After all, they shot Hurley dead, didn't they? No, I mean, Mr. Sholmes isn't dead. This is also horrible. The thing is, Mr. Windibank was found on the floor in the storeroom where he keeps all the deposited articles, and the storeroom door was locked from the inside. I see. But he wasn't alone in there. Gina was found next to him on the floor as well. Oh no. And according to the detectives who investigated afterwards... Don't tell me. There was no one else in the room? Yes, exactly. How did you know? It's the only explanation. Yeah, it's the only explanation indeed. What do you mean by that, Bruno? Well... Ooh, what can I say? I'm damned if I agree, damned if I don't. I'm afraid I'll need to go out again now, Iris. There's not much I can do at the moment, but I can at least try to find out how Mr. Sholmes and Gina are getting on. I want to go too. Take me with you, Bruno. I can't stand just sitting around here waiting. I'm not sure how I feel about taking a 10-year-old child to the scene of a murder, but I don't want to leave her all alone here either. Alright then, Iris. Perhaps you can help me? Oh, yes, I'd love to. Gina's at the prison. Mr. Sholmes is probably in his hospital bed. And don't forget, we have to visit the crime scene. We need to conduct a thorough investigation. Oh, I can see you're ready for action. I imagine Iris would appreciate going to the hospital sooner rather than later. Okay, I guess we'll go there first. Saint Sinners? Is that actually... Saint Sinners. Maybe it's called something else. Saint Signers. Saint... We'll just call it Sinners. Is it gonna be like a spoof or like a parody of like the Hottie Clinic? Hurley? Oh. He's not here. No, that's strange. The nurse definitely said he was in the bed by the window, didn't she? Oh, I know what's probably happened. Hurley was being a big baby, and the bullet wound wasn't that bad after all, so he's been sent home. I'm not so sure about that. Baby or not, there's no question that it was a fairly serious injury that Mr. Sholmes suffered. Oh. Hello, what have we here? This ward is off limits, no visiting, so what are you doing in here, eh? Well, I'll have you know, we're Hurley's next of kin, eh? Oh, well, begging your pardon then, ma'am, sir. A little lady and a curious Eastern gentleman, the great mystery solvers as a mysterious family, eh? If that's how you see us, sure. Where is he, Constable? Where's Hurley? I believe he's currently in the operating theater, ma'am. I gave him like a like a different accent. Undergoing an extensive operation. Extensive? It has been several hours since he went in. Oh dear, is he going to be alright? Well, it doesn't appear to be working, you see. The anesthetic, that is. Oh. I have heard a report that the gentleman claims he may have had a little too much to drink last night. Coffee, that is. Ugh. Anyway, I think it would be fair to assume that you won't be back here for several hours yet. I see. Thank you, Constable. Perhaps we should leave and come back later? Oh, poor Hurley. It drank too much of that coffee. You can't get knocked the fuck out. Hello, Gina. They let her keep that? Oh, you still have the grenade launcher Hurley and I made. I wish you wouldn't point it at me all the time, though. What are you here for? Ginny, I have a feeling it's because of us that you've ended up in trouble. So we were thinking that we might be able to help you. Well, you can't. Sorry? You heard. Get lost. And don't be like that, Ginny. I know you didn't do it. You'd never shoot someone. I just know you wouldn't. You think you know me? Pull the other one. Oh. You ain't got the first idea. Wait, you ain't got the first idea about the likes of me. I'm a thief. I pinch people's purses when they're walking down the street. That's how I get by. And if I saw me chance, I'd sneak into a pawn shop any day of the week. Just to see what I could lay me hands on. Get it? That's the kind of person I am. But Ginny, I'll be in court tomorrow, they said. Some cove came by before and said he'd be a lawyer for me or the like. Said it was my right or something. But I told him to get stuffed. I don't need no lawyer. I don't need no one. She couldn't be staring at me any more obviously if she tried. Why are you being like this, Ginny? Is this like one of those situations? It's like, like you show him the armband or like the badge or whatever. It's like, I want it for whatever. I'll show her just to see the dialogue. Oh, would you look at that strange? Where's my armband? What's the problem? Something wrong? Don't suppose you're looking for this? Yes, but how? And when? And how again? I got a talent for it, haven't I? Diving. That's bordering on black magic. And it makes what I was about to say about my armband seem a little dull. So, what you want to tell me about it then? Nothing. Cause like there was a situation in like the other like old games where it's like, oh, like you show them the badge and you're like, oh, I want to represent you, and then they're like, oh, okay. It might be like at the very end, because I know there's like a couple people in the old games that are like too stubborn. I don't understand, Gina. Why did you send the public defender away? You wanted me to sign some papers, representing papers or something like that. It's all gonna be rigged anyway, the whole trial. They'll pin it on me because I'm a kid. That's what grown-ups always do. Why do you think that? Because that's how it's always been for me, growing up in the back slums, me whole life. If you do what the grown-ups tell you, it'll get your mates dragged off by the coppers, or worse. I've had it happen to me before and all. Been sold out and nearly snaffled on the back of it. You can't trust no one. That's the point. Soon as you do, you're gone to grass. Dead. Gina, listen. If you like, in tomorrow's trial, I could forget it. Ginny, don't you trust Runo? Nah, I don't. Look, I'll ask you nicely now. Just leave me alone. Will you tell us what happened to Gina last night at the pawnbrokers? There's nothing to tell. I figured he'd pay me, so I broke into the place and started going through the storeroom. But the old bloke walked in on me, and you know the rest. But why, Ginny? Why would you do that? Ain't it obvious? The place is full of stuff I could sell for a shilling or two. Diving ain't easy, you know. It's a lot of work, and half the time you don't even get nothing. Is that really why you broke into the place? What? Are you sure the true reason wasn't something else? Oh, give it a rest. What'd be the point anyway, eh? Nothing I could say would make a blind bit of difference. Please tell us, Ginny. We'll believe you, whatever it is. Believe me? Don't be daft. You can't believe nothing. Everyone lies all the same. And you know what? When it comes to liars, I'm the biggest of the lot. I've told some unforgivable lies, I have. What do you mean by that? What unforgivable lies? What did you mean before, Gina, when you said you were the biggest liar of the lot? Why don't you tell us these unforgivable lies you've told are? Wait, why don't you tell us what these unforgivable lies you've told are? Maybe we can help. Sorry. We're out of time. They're gonna want to question me now. Ginny, please. Oh yeah. I wanted to give you this. Something to remember me by. A photographic print of a really adorable cat. I found it in one of the pockets of this coat. Ain't no point in me having it. I wonder what a little photograph like that was doing in a pocket of that overcoat. Anyway, don't bother coming again. Bye. Oh, Ginny. Okay, now I guess we go to the crime scene. This is where it happened then? Last night? That's right. The two thugs I told you about were obviously ransacking the place looking for valuables. But apart from the policeman in here, you wouldn't know anything had happened. There's no sign of a disturbance. Nope, you're right about that, actually. In fact, if anyone, it's the police who seem to be the ones doing the ransacking. I know what you mean. They're like a gang of organized criminals all dressed in black. Oi, I heard that. Oh, Inspector. Good morning. Huh, I suppose I ought to thank you for your vigilance last night. We got to the scene before it was disturbed, at least. Shame you let the two rogues get away, mind. Yes, I'm sorry about that. I thought you'd assign extra men to the beat around here, Gregsy. Now look what's happened. Hurley's been injured because there weren't enough police on duty. Ah! Hey, your ladyship. No one told me you were coming. I expect you to take full responsibility for what happened to Hurley and see he has the very best medical care. Of course, your ladyship, the very best doctors in the capital are tending to him as we speak. And I don't think it's Bruno's fault that the rogues managed to get away, is it? Chasing criminals is the police's job. Absolutely, your ladyship. As you say, ma'am. As you say. The gent in black is totally blameless. Everyone's in agreement about that. Would you believe it? He's like a completely different person with Iris. Talk about a personality change. Oh, where are me manners? Are you thirsty, your ladyship? Perhaps you'd like some juice. Some nice, refreshing fruit juice. Oh, why? Are you thirsty, Gregsy? I have some of my special herbal tea with me if you'd like some. Lovely. Ta very much. That really hit the spot, your ladyship. I don't even recognize him like this. So, how is the investigation going, Inspector? Nothing to it, really. Very simple case, this. There's some very definitive evidence. We're just about to charge that diver we arrested last night. In fact, Gina, you're going to charge her? That's right. Should be able to bring her before the judge at the Bailey tomorrow. Definitive evidence, you say? What is it? Come on, show me. Your ladyship, as much as I wish I could oblige you, I'm afraid. Ah, I see. You've already captured the pair of thugs who broke in here last night, have you? And you're going to put them on the stand as witnesses, are you? How could you possibly know that? I had a feeling, that's all. Remind me never to try to keep a secret from Iris. So you've arrested the two men who shot Mr. Sholmes, have you? Well, yes, they were rounded up pretty quickly by the lads on the beat. And Miss Lestrade is being held at the prison? She should be. That's assuming she hasn't lifted the key from the jailer, of course. Can you tell us anything about Mr. Sholmes? What's his condition? Sorry, I'm not at liberty to divulge that information. Scotland Yard matters are strictly confidential. Well, I know he's being operated on at St. Sinner's. Why can't I see him? I'm family, you know. I'm terribly sorry, your ladyship. It's the hospital's policy. No visiting at all. Oh. The bullet must have hit an artery in his midriff. He lost a fair bit of blood. Not that I saw in that cutscene, but okay. Oh no. He didn't seem too bad in the first hour or so, but a hemorrhage like that is enough to make even the one and only Sholmes pipe down. Mr. Sholmes is a human like the rest of us, you know. Well, anyway, he's having emergency surgery right now. They gotta stop that bleeding. But he will be alright, won't he? They'll be able to make him better? Of course, your ladyship. He'll be right as rain before you know it. Oh, really? How do you know? How do I know? Well, because... yes, because Mr. Sholmes is such a great detective. That's why. And we better pray the doctors have a better grasp of what's needed to make someone well again. Oh dear. Please don't die, Hurley. I'll report to your ladyship the moment I hear he's out of the operating theater. I couldn't help but notice, Inspector. What? Out with it, sunshine. Well, there seems to be a marked difference between the way you talk to me and Iris. Now watch the sauce, Sonny. I'm a copper and we don't go in for favoritism. But he's right, you do treat us differently. It's because of those Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes stories. That's why. Oh. I crop up in them, don't I? Inspector Tobias Gregson. Oh, well, yes, because you're an acquaintance of Hurley's. What did you write about the inspector, Iris? I don't remember, really. It was one of Sholmes' lines. Gregson is the smartest of the Scotland Yarders, is how he put it. Oh, did I write that? And you know what that one line did for me, eh? The very next month, my pay doubled. Doubled, I tell you. Oh, that's amazing. All because everyone at the yard reads them. They read all the Sherlock Sholmes stories. They've even set up a fan club for me. Of course, that explains everything. It was around that time that you became such a toady to me. Can you blame me? All it'd take is one bad word from you and Sholmes could change his tune about me. Gregson? No, the great detective will say. He's getting quite overrated these days. Think what would happen to my salary if that came out in print, eh? The whole thing gives me the willies. I can't tell you how many nights of sleep I've lost to worrying about it. But that would never happen, Gregsy. Every month when the new Rance magazine comes out, my hands are trembling as I turn the pages. Oh, how awful for you. Here, have some of my tea to settle your nerves. Lovely. He total. Oh, yeah, there's something I was supposed to talk to you about actually, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, what is it? I've got an important message for you. I clean forgot about it until now. An important message? I wonder what it could be. Are you going to tell me what this important message is then, Inspector? Yeah, it's about that young lady who's normally by your side, your assistant. Dear Susie, is she alright? She's at the station, isn't she? Being questioned, I believe. Nope, not anymore. She had to head off. Head off? Where? To Lord Strongheart's office, of course. He summoned her. Oh yeah, of course, I'd forgotten about that. One of the whipstocks took her there in a yard carriage after we finished questioning her. But she asked us to tell you she didn't have the fare for the return journey and to go meet her there. She's got a nerve using Scotland Yard as a blooming messaging service. I see. Well, thank you for passing that on. Why did Susie have to go see the Lord Chief Justice? She didn't tell me. But I better head over to the Lord Chief Justice's office to fetch her straight away. Can I still, like, investigate, though? Or do we have to get her? Or maybe they won't let me. I don't know. Alright then, let's see what we can uncover. Oi, what do you think you're doing, Sunshine? You can't touch anything in here. Oh, but we were hoping to investigate. This is a crime scene, for Pete's sakes. No touching. Now what's the problem, Gregsy? Runa's a lawyer, you know that. Oh, I'm ever so sorry, your ladyship, ever so sorry. The rules and regulations are a thorn in my side. Of course, if Mr. Naruhodo was to have been properly appointed by the accused, that'd be another matter. The accused? If you could show me some representation papers, I'd be only too happy to let you nose around. Did you hear that, Runo? You need Ginny to sign some representation papers. It looks like presenting the detective here with the correct paperwork is the only way. Okay, I guess we'll go pick her up. Yes. No matter how many times I come here, I always get the same sense of oppressiveness somehow. Do you think the place is oppressive? I think it's normal. How so? I mean, look at that suit of armor over there. You can't take that seriously, can you? Maybe it thinks the same about you. So everything is clear with regard to tomorrow's arrangements, I trust. Yes, thank you very much. There they are, Susato and Lord Strongheart. I wonder what they're talking about. They both look very serious. Very good. There is nothing to further discuss. You may return to your lodgings. No doubt you have much to do in preparation for your return to your homeland. Wait, what did he just say? You return to your homeland? Susato! Oh, Mr. Naruhodo. What was all that about? Ah, Mr. Naruhodo, thank you for coming to collect your colleague. What's this all about? Why were you talking about Miss Susato's return to her homeland? And tomorrow? Tomorrow? But what about Ginny's trial? You mean she's been formally charged now? Oh dear. Miss Susato, what's all this about? Oh, please don't concern yourself, Mr. Naruhodo. It's only me going back to Japan. Your life here can continue just as it has. That's not what I asked. What happened? Why are you leaving? It's my father. He's fallen ill. Oh no. Professor Miko Toba? We received an international telegram from the Empire of Japan informing us of the news. 10 days ago, Father collapsed with a fever. The cause is apparently unknown, and it seems he grows weaker by the day. I don't believe it. As you are aware, the voyage from here to your country's capital, Tokyo, takes some 50 days. I thought it would be prudent to hasten Miss Susato's departure as much as possible. Yes, absolutely. I will leave London first thing tomorrow morning. I can't believe this is happening. So Gina has been charged? She'll have to appear in court? Yes, she was formally charged a few hours ago, and the date of the trial has already been set for tomorrow. No, not even 24 hours later? Gina? Ah, the Lestrade girl and the murder of the Baker Street pawnbroker. Yes. And all too transpicious. Oh, and all too transpicious case. The pickpocket was clearly disturbed mid-robbery and shot the man in a panic. No, the yard is overstretched as it is, without wasting time on these open and shut cases. It's not wasting time. Ginny would never do something like that. Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, yes, Lord Strongheart. In defense of your fine services to date, I shall overlook this young girl's insolence, but I have no recollection of admitting a child into my office. Leave. Now. Of course, Lord Strongheart. Criminals will tell the most palpable lies in order to evade justice. The police can ill afford the time it takes to unravel all their untruths. Meanwhile, more crimes are perpetrated. We have far more serious matters with which to contend. Serious matters? Didn't Gregson mention something like that yesterday? Yes, Inspector Gregson made a similar remark yesterday. It's no concern of yours, though I'm sure I need not remind you of that. "3 minutes precisely until my next meeting. You must excuse me. There's just one more thing, Lord Strongheart, which is, it's Miss Lestrade's trial. I wonder if you might permit me to defend her?" A timely suggestion. Sorry? The girl currently has no representation. But that's not fair. Yes, she may be a pickpocket, but she still deserves a fair trial. Do not misunderstand me, young lady. The government provides for those too poor to afford representation with a public defender. The accused need only sign the relevant paperwork, and a defense barrister will be assigned to the case. However, the young girl in question has refused that right. Why would she do that? A question you would do well to direct at Miss Lestrade. You'll find her at the local prison. Yes, thank you. Is this like... We already went there. Maybe we should... I mean, I guess we got the extra dialogue, but... Like, we already knew she was there. Now then, it's time I was leaving. Good day. What a day. Gina charged with murder. Susato about to leave. Come, Mr. Naruhodo. Iris, we must make haste. But, Susie... You're leaving for Japan tomorrow morning, aren't you? Don't you have packing and things to do? As Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant, my personal circumstances are of no consequence. My sole purpose remains to help you in whatever way I can. Thank you, Miss Susato. It's a very pensive look. I think we ought to visit Gina first. In any case, I should like to wish her well before I leave. Yes, that sounds like a good idea. Let's go. If I'm honest, this has completely thrown me off. I'll just have to do what I can as a lawyer. Now, why can't Iris join you as like the assistant if Susato's supposed to leave? Hello again, Gina. What are you lot here for now? To have the muzzle of that grenade launcher shoved in our faces yet again, obviously. I think I need to improve the way you load ammunition into that thing, don't I? Look, you can come as many times as you like, but I ain't got nothing more to say to you. Gina, I wonder if you might hear me out. There's something I'd like to say. What? I'm sorry to say that I must reluctantly bid you farewell. What? Farewell? Tomorrow I must begin my journey back home, to Japan. I fear we may never meet again. Oh, right. I've had the pleasure of meeting so many lovely people here in London. I have so many wonderful memories. And yet, as things stand now, it will be a glum parting indeed. Poor Iris is so miserable. Well, that ain't my business. Both Iris and Mr. Naruhodo believes you to be innocent, Gina. They've put their faith in you, but somehow you can't find it in your heart to put your faith in them. Yeah, that's right, I can't. What of it? It grieves me greatly to have to say goodbye to my friends when they are so clearly unhappy. Because of you. What? It's my fault? Yes, so I have one final request, Gina, before our paths never cross again. Right here and now, I want you to show both of them that you don't deserve the faith that they've invested in you. Huh? Only by doing that will you truly be as alone as you claim to be. Now, what are you talking about? What do you expect me to do? You've told us that everyone lies. So prove it by admitting one of your own untruths. What about what you said before, Ginny? You said something about unforgivable lies. You must tell Mr. Naruhodo and Iris the truth now. That is my last request before I leave. My last request as a judicial assistant. No, I can't. Whatever these lies are, they're obviously weighing very heavily on Gina's mind. Gina, I could be wrong, but is it something to do with what happened 2 months ago? Something about that trial? The one in which Mr. Magnus McGilded was acquitted? The case of that mysterious murder that took place inside the omnibus. You were called as a witness by the prosecution. Is that what this is about? Yeah, you're right. Because in that trial, I lied. I lied like you wouldn't believe. Will you tell us about it now? Like you said, it all happened 2 months ago. The coppers got hold of me and shoved me in the witness stand. And based on your testimony, Mr. McGilded was declared innocent. Yeah, well, the thing is, I lied about a whole bunch of stuff. I knew it. What sort of thing did you lie about? I was hiding under the seat that night. That was the truth. It was pitch black in that little cubbyhole. I couldn't see a thing, and then I heard that loud thud, like someone falling on the floor. And that's when Mr. McGilded discovered you? Yeah. He pulled me out from under the seat and sat me next to the dead man. There weren't much light to see by, but when I looked at me ends, I had the cove's blood all over him. I was so scared, I couldn't even speak. You had his blood on your hands? In other words, it was Gina that the witnesses on the roof deck saw through the skylight? Then Mr. McGilded started asking you questions, I suppose? Who you were and why you were hiding under the seat? Yeah, he did. Only, that's not all. What do you mean? I mean, he threatened me. Threatened you how? He made me swear about what I'd seen and what I'd heard. And about what he was gonna do after the cove was found dead. He made me swear I wouldn't tell no one about it. Yeah, no one about any of it. If I did that, he said he'd let me scarper before the coppers showed up. Was that even the right word? Gina, you must tell me what he swore you to secrecy about. What you saw, what you heard, everything. You said Mr. McGilded... They're not even calling him Mr. anymore. Made you swear not to tell anybody what you saw. But you were in the pitch black compartment underneath the seat the whole time, weren't you? Yes, with Mr. McGilded sitting above your head, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that's true, but... It was when I heard the thud of the cove in the floor. I let out a little scream, see? Couldn't help it. McGilded heard that and dragged me out by the arm. And that's when I saw it. It was on the floor next to the old geezer where it had been stabbed. A disc. All bright and shiny. A disc? Do you mean... Yeah, that's it. The one with the D took off me at Winterbanks. So the music box disc was there on the floor of the omnibus? Not for long, McGilded spotted it straight away. He picked it up smartish and stuffed it in his inside pocket. So that disc was in the omnibus 2 months ago at the scene of Mr. Mason's murder. And the bog trotter told me. I weren't to mutter a word of it to no one. Because it was so dark under the seat in the cab. I was straining my ears the whole time. After a while, I heard the door and footsteps inside the cabin. Presumably, that was Mr. McGilded getting on board. Nah, not only him. Oh, because I could definitely make out the footsteps of 2 people. In that case, it would seem likely that it was Mr. McGilded and the victim, Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason. In his testimony during the trial, Mr. McGilded claimed he slept during the carriage ride. But whenever I'm in a carriage, I'm taken with a fierce tiredness and I always succumb to it. And your own testimony, Gina, supported this. All I could hear was the Irishman snoring. Yeah, that weren't exactly true. Neither of them was asleep. I could hear them talking the whole time in low voices. What? What were they talking about? Sorry, I don't know. The sound of horses and the wheels was too loud. But that still tells us something. Mr. McGilded and the victim knew each other. So McGilded was lying, as I suspected. I knew it weren't going to take long before someone raised the alarm and the bloke had been killed. Yes, you were quite right. The other passengers on the roof deck noticed very quickly. So when the cab came to a stop, McGilded told me to hide back under the seat again. I climbed in and waited. The 2 coves from up top ran off to get the coppers. Yes, Mr. Fairplay and Mr. First. Right. And after they'd gone, McGilded asked the driver to do him a favor. A favor? Now then, fellow, what I need you to do is take this coat of mine and deposit it with a nearby pawnbroker. And for your troubles, let's see now. I'll give you 10 guineas. A nearby pawnbroker? You mean on Baker Street? Yup, you got it. It was Winterbanks. The coachie snapped up the money and ran off to pop his coat as fast as he could. So then there was no one left in the carriage. McGilded opened the box under the seat and let me get out of there, but not without conditions. I see. What were Mr. McGilded's conditions then? For letting you go free, I mean. Not telling a soul, not for anything, about what I saw and what I heard. And there was something else as well. There's more? Yeah, this is the most important thing, he said. I'm after sending the coachman on a little errand for me with some small change in his hand. Now then, did you hear what I asked of him? Did you see anything at all? You asked him to go pop your weasel, right? Aye, the fiend's taking me overcoat to deposit with a pawnbroker hereabouts. And I want you, lass, to take the redemption ticket for it. You understand? What? You want me to have the ticket? That's right. Now come fetch it from me later, sometime within the next 2 months. You're to hang on to it until then. Is that clear? And whatever you do, don't lose it. Alright then. And in case I might happen to be delayed at all, you're to go to the pawn shop, Windibanks so it is, and you're to extend the loan before the 2 months is up. If you forget, the article will be forfeited and any old fiend could come along and buy it. But I ain't got that kind of brass. Here's £5. That should be enough. Do we understand each other, lass? Don't try anything funny now, if you go against me. Yeah, I get it. Good. And one more thing. In a few days from now, you'll be visited by the police, I've no doubt. The coppers? Aye, they'll come asking you to take the stand in court, to testify as a witness. So let's just have a wee chat about that, shall we? What is it that you might say, and what is it that you won't? After he'd gone over it all, I piked it? Got as far away from there as I could. He hid the pawnbroker's ticket in some bushes near the scene. I went to fetch it the next day once it got dark. So McGill had planned it, and coerced Gina into giving false testimony. I bet you're ready to string me up, eh? I lied. In that big old courtroom. I told some corkers. The thing is, he said he would make it so we couldn't live in the East End no more. That's what he threatened me with. What a wicked man. He knew everything went in the back slums. He knew we had no one to look after us, and we was all just looking out for each other, getting by together. So you mean Mr. McGilded would have... In a heartbeat. He could have had the lot of us chased out of there if he wanted. And then where could we have gone, eh? Nowhere, that's where. So I didn't have no choice. Thank you, Gina, for telling us everything. But I'm for it now, eh? Go on, admit it. You must be livid. Well, you can make amends by doing me a simple favor. A favor? What? Sign the representation papers for tomorrow's trial. Huh? If you don't actually want me to represent you in court, you can rip it up later. But we need that paperwork or we can't investigate. The police won't let us. Investigate what? The scene of the incident last night. Mr. Sholmes was shot, you see? You what? You what? Hurley's having a big operation now, Ginny. Is it bad? Is he gonna be alright? Sholmes is gonna be alright, right? That's why I want to investigate. For Mr. Sholmes' sake as much as anything. Right. So what you're saying is if I sign that bit of paper, everyone's happy. Is that it? Something like that. Miss Susato? Yes, of course. I have the representation papers here. I don't need no one to stick up for me, though. No lawyer or nothing. Poor Ginny. She seems so lonely. Well, at least this should mean we can investigate the scene at Windibanks now. Yes. And perhaps we can come back to visit Ginny when we're done there. I feel like we finally cracked Gina. She's opened up to us at last. And now I have her representation papers. No one else knows just what a responsibility that is. Anyway, for now it means Inspector Gregson can't stop us for investigating at Windibanks. Although something tells me he's not going to be happy about it. Oh my god, this is long. What the hell? It's okay, there's some revelations. The story is like circling back, you know? Like I like completely forgot about that dude at the beginning, but damn. That's a twist. That was a twist.